Depending on who you ask, they'll tell you I'm a legend. From YO to the Veil to the Mongo spot on Creston. Always been 1,000, never ever been a lame. Lay a nigga down for these 3 letters on my chain.
Look, I'm almost like 1,000% sure that I could speak for not only myself, but a bunch of other people that experienced the same thing or heard the same thing when they was trying to get into the game. You didn't hear people speak about how fake the industry is and how fake people within the industry is. Now, I already knew that coming into the game, but I was fresh, so I didn't get a chance to experience it and see it firsthand until I left the L.O.X. When I left the L.O.X, I seen just how fake the industry and people within the industry was. You know what I'm saying? When I made my decision to leave, I started hearing all types of rumors. Like, different stuff started to take place, and it happened like back to back to back to back. I started hearing rumors about me. I heard like I got kicked out of D Block. I heard they dropped me. It's like people couldn't accept the fact that I actually left these dudes, so they had to create a different narrative to try to make me look bad. You know what I'm saying? I started hearing stuff like I got robbed, I got beat up, I can't come back to Youngers. Like, I mean, all type of different stuff to the point where it had me like, yo, why wasn't I hearing any of this stuff when I was with these dudes? Like, it's like now I see how much animosity certain people had towards me, like when I made my decision to leave, because people wasn't saying none of this type of stuff before. And I started seeing how fake some of the consumers was, because instead of like sitting there thinking about stuff logically, they just automatically took sides. You know what I mean? Like, not looking at it from an aspect of, yo, look, for every action there's a reaction. So not saying that this dude's actions or the way he should have handled it, but it looks like a reaction to me. He's not just gonna get up one day and just decide to, make a decision to leave out of nowhere. You know what I mean? That had to be reactional, and that came from a action. So, but to me, I'm thinking people would, use that type of mindset and think about it like that. But boy, was I wrong. You feel me? Like, because people don't care about truth. They rather go with what they want to believe. You know what I mean? Like, truth doesn't matter. I started seeing like different DJs and producers that used to call me regularly. Just like stop calling me, stop picking my phone calls up. And it bugged me out. I'm like, damn, like, don't get me wrong. I know that you have a relationship with these dudes because obviously they've been in the game way longer than me, so they have stronger ties and relationships with certain people. But this is something that takes place regularly, and it's been taking place since the beginning of the music industry. Like, people, they leave their labels. Things don't work out. I guess it was in the fashion that I left that kind of like left a lot of people like, oh, well, I don't really know if I want to, even continue to show my support for him publicly, because it could possibly look like I'm stepping on toes, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of like left a lot of people, kind of iffy about dealing with me and stuff like that. So out of 100% of people, I say like 60% of the game start acting a certain way towards the kid. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of like fell back. I'm talking about like producers that I used to like drop everything that I'm doing and go over there and do things for. Like, they used to call me up like, yo, I need a verse from you on this album. Me, no questions asked. I'm over there, I knock it out. Now, I leave dudes and I make a call or I text somebody, they not picking up the phone now. Like, you know what I mean? Because they don't want to look a certain way to these dudes. And I found that to be like really fake. I'm like, dudes is fake. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I didn't expect anything more from them because this is the game, man. A lot of these people, I was introduced to them, from these dudes. But a lot of them, I wasn't introduced to them. I met them just along the way. But still in all, I'm like, man, even if you do have a solid relationship with these dudes, like, as a man, you can't let that dictate who you're going to speak to or who you're not going to speak to because of what another man might think. You know what I mean? Like, that's not only like corny, but that's like you not being a man. You feel what I'm saying? So, I was dealing with a lot of that, man. People not wanting to play records, just people acting funny, period. You see a person in person, it's one thing, but then you get online, it's something else. You know what I mean? Like they all, yo, what up, in your face, get online. You know, they acting like they don't want to say nothing to you, period. So I done seen it all. You know what I mean? Like when I say the two faces of different people, like trust me, I'm talking about everybody, man, from the biggest to the smallest. You know what I mean? Like from the most well known to the not so known people. Just act funny. And I'm not saying there was a lot of people, because there was some people that just like kept it 100. You know what I mean? And that was the other 40% that I'm speaking about out of the 100. Like it's some people that just was like, you know what, man, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Like you leaving them has absolutely nothing to do with me. You cool in my eyes, they're cool in my eyes, and whatever y'all got going on, that's between y'all.